So, hello everyone, welcome, and we have started our exam. Let's open our VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So, in the previous video, we have seen that how to insert the data. In the next video, we saw how to display that data inserted in our table. And today we will perform two other operations of our CRUD, that is view that data and delete that data. And by data I mean view a row or delete that particular row, right? So first of all, where we should go to the display page and give to the URL to anchor tag of view. Here you will see this is the view and we have given the URL. Be very focus here, CRUD/view/ this slash is very important. And why we are using slash? Because if you see the Google also uses slash. So if you remember from the PHP, the URL which we give here is URL as well as the standard URL which Google provides, and it matches with the path. So this slash, then we have written $a_id. And what is $a? See, for each table, our table data, $table data is as $a. So in this $a, the ID, so the ID will come here. Okay. Now we know that all the URL stuff and thing happens via route. So we will go to the route, we go CRUD and line number 158. You see, you see that in line number 158, route get CRUD view slash curly braces ID. So what will happen, like if we go to Google, let me remove it, CRUD display, let me scroll my mouse over this view, ID number 7. If you see below, bottom left hand side, you can see CRUD/view/7. So that 7 will get /7 will slash is there, the 7 will come and get here. Okay, that's why we have made it. So when it will find that URL, right, let me go. When I will click here, it will find that, you can see bottom left corner, it will find that URL, it will go to the route, it will see yes, this matches here. So if this matches, it will go to the CRUD controller. Inside that CRUD controller, it will go to the view method. So where is our CRUD controller? Then at CRUD controller, it went to our view method. And here we can say that the ID number is getting stored here. Okay, it will go to the CRUD controller. Inside it will search for view method. Where are you? Save. Yeah, here it is. You can see on line number 43, here is our view data. Inside the bracket $id, we are storing ID. Alright. And for instance, if you want to see, we have used eCode. Let me do it. Yes. In the function $id, the means the $id will come and get stored here. Okay, now what we are doing, we are echoing $id, because if you remember in the PHP, what we were doing, by using get method, we were getting ID, and using that ID in the where condition of a query, we were displaying the data. Similarly here we got the ID and we have done echo $id. Let me go here and refresh. Let me hover over Bhagat. Okay, let me click on it. You can see his ID 7 came. Let me click here. His ID 3 came. Means yes, our ID is coming. We are correct. So Control Z. Now it's correct. Now if you see the line number 45, we have made any random variable $data. The $data, what it contains, go to the CRUD model. Inside that model, you will find the database. In that you will find table. Means inside that CRUD model, you will find table. Inside that table, you please find this ID. It will find that ID. Now after it found that ID, what we will do? as we are in our starting phase. So rows, after finding that id we will check it by printing like, yeah, it is coming, means yes, here thing is working very fine. So we told that yes, if you got that data, I mean if our find in line number 45 is working very fine, that what we want you to go to the view. Inside view you go to the card folder. Inside that card folder you will find view.blade.php file. In that, please transfer my variable data. So this will only happen. Let's save it. Let us go to the view blade, and here we will as we know that the view part and display part is exactly same, likewise edit part and the insert part is same. So we have copied pasted all that code, HTML code from display to view. But remember one thing, in the display the whole many rows were coming, so we use for each, but here only single row is coming, so we will remove that for each part and leave everything okay, same. Now one point to, oh oops, not you. Now one point to remember, that inside the view you see we are calling all our data in where we are calling our all our rows. No, we are calling our particular row, the particular row whose id matches, where we are calling that particular row into data variable, right? So in the view we will say use that data variable and we will retrieve the data from it, right? So let's save it and we should go back. We should refresh. Now let's view Vivek. See, Vivek 1 2 3 Kolkata means the thing is working fine. Okay, and of course we remove that action part because in the view we don't have that action thing. See, 1 2 3 4 5 use Hindu 1 2 3 4 5, yeah, it's coming fine. So this thing we did for display, for viewing our data. Point to remember that you don't forget to put slash while writing URL, and don't forget so let me show you, don't forget to put the slash, this one is giving id, and also don't forget to use the slash and use curly braces id to getting the id, storing it here. And the one more thing, see, this $id is the random variable, and this id where in the web, this is also a random. They both don't have any connections. Okay, for making the thing easier we have named it id. So let me go to the controller. So what is happening here, let me tell you one more time. See, this card is a model is a table. So inside that table it will find that id. It will if it finds that id, it will return to $data. If it finds, then only it will return it to data. If it doesn't find, it will don't do anything, right? So like this thing gets over. Now in the similar way we will do for delete, and delete is the easiest thing because for delete we don't need to make a page to display, right? We need to simply delete it and it's over. We don't need to display something. We will go to the display part and give the URL card/delete /important/ with dot $a id. Why $a? Because here our table data is as $a. So $a उसकी id आ गई. You got the id. After that you go to the web and here you see route ::get card/delete/curly braces id. If you find this, then go to this find this controller. If you found this controller, then find this delete. If you find the delete, go to that delete. And yes, it will find because we have made. Now here this id and this id doesn't have any connection because these are from different methods. They don't have any connection. So whatever id will go to that URL in the web part, route part. From there we will get the id, and that id we are storing it into $id. And in this $data we are saying please find that particular row whose id matches with this. and if it finds what we are simply saying on line number 53, we are simply saying that delete it. See, delete is a method here, it's a function here, and after deleting it we are storing it in $delete. And why on the earth we are storing it into a variable? We are storing it into the variable, and you can see on line number 55 we are doing that because we need to use it into our if condition, and we use that in our if condition. If delete means if something got deleted, then please redirect us to the card.display with the message row deleted successfully, and we will use that message here. First of all, we need to call that JavaScript links, and there simply we are saying if session message is coming, then display this message. Nothing hi-fi, so let us go back. Let's delete some ID. Let's delete ID number 4. See, deleted, row deleted successfully. Tada! So this all thing for today, and tomorrow in the next video we will see how to edit. Okay, bye.